From the steel plow that broke the plains to the simple pitchfork that still moves hay today, these 15 classic farm tools shaped America's agricultural heritage. While technology has transformed farming, these time-tested implements prove that sometimes the old ways still work best. 15. The wheelbarrow. Dating back to ancient times but perfected in American manufacturing during the Industrial Revolution, the wheelbarrow remains indispensable on farms across the country. American companies like Jackson Manufacturing and Ames True Temper have been producing these workhorses since the early 1900s. The simple genius of a single wheel supporting a tilted bed allows one person to move loads that would otherwise require 2 or 3 workers. From hauling feed to moving manure, spreading mulch to transporting tools, the wheelbarrow's versatility made it essential for small farms and homesteads. The design has barely changed in over a century because it doesn't need to. The physics are perfect. Whether you're mucking stalls or moving concrete, this tool that helped build America's infrastructure during the WPA era still outperforms many modern alternatives. Today's versions might feature pneumatic tires and steel construction, but the fundamental design that made farming more efficient remains unchanged. 14. The grain shovel. The American-made grain shovel, particularly those crafted from lightweight woods like tulip poplar, revolutionized grain handling in the 1800s and remains essential in feed rooms today. Companies in the Midwest perfected these tools, with manufacturers often reinforcing the leading edge with metal strips for durability. The wide, shallow scoop design allowed farmers to move large volumes of grain with minimal effort, crucial when filling bins or loading wagons. And these shovels were engineered specifically for grain's unique properties, lightweight enough for repetitive use, but sturdy enough to handle bushels of wheat or corn. The ergonomic handle angle, developed through generations of use, reduced back strain during long harvest days. Many modern farms still prefer these traditional wooden shovels over plastic alternatives because wood doesn't create static that attracts dust and chaff. While grain elevators handle bulk storage now, every farm with livestock still needs a good grain shovel for daily feeding operations. 13. The hay hook. The hay hook, forged from iron or steel by American blacksmiths since the 1800s, transformed the backbreaking work of hay handling into manageable labor. This curved, pointed tool became essential when American farms shifted to large-scale hay production to feed growing livestock operations. The ingenious design allowed a single farmer to grab, lift, and maneuver heavy hay bales that would otherwise require 2 people. During the golden age of American agriculture, companies like Diamond Tool and Forgecraft produced thousands of these hooks annually. The hay hook's efficiency was crucial during haying season, when timing meant everything get the hay in before rain or lose the crop. Though modern equipment handles most baling now, hay hooks remain vital for stacking in tight barn spaces, feeding small groups of animals, and handling square bales. Collectors prize vintage American-made hay hooks for their superior forging and balance. Today's farmers still reach for the simple tool because sometimes the old ways are still the best ways. Before we move on to the next one in the list, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thanks to all of you who do. 12. The corn sheller. The hand-crank corn sheller revolutionized American corn processing when it emerged in the mid-1800s, with companies like Blackhawk and Maximizer leading production. These cast-iron machines could shell a bushel of corn in minutes, work that previously took hours by hand. The spiked wheel design, turned by a hand crank while ears were pressed against it, efficiently separated kernels from cobs. This tool was crucial for America's rise as the world's corn producer, allowing small farms to process feed for livestock and seed for planting. By the 1900s, improved models featured housings that channeled ears through the machine and separated cobs from kernels automatically. The corn sheller democratized farming, letting family operations compete with larger farms. Many American farms still use these vintage shellers for small batches, seed corn, and specialty varieties. The satisfying mechanical action and reliability of these century-old tools proves that good engineering never goes out of style. 11. The disc harrow. The disc harrow, an American agricultural innovation that gained prominence in the late 1800s, uses rows of concave metal discs set at angles to till soil and incorporate crop residue. Major manufacturers like Case YH and John Deere refined these implements to handle America's diverse soil conditions. The genius of the disc harrow lies in its ability to cut through heavy residue while mixing it into the topsoil, promoting rapid decomposition. Primary disc harrows, weighing 265 to 1,000 pounds per disc, break virgin land and chop residue, while lighter secondary harrows eliminate clumps and prepare seed beds. This tool proved essential for managing corn stalks in the Midwest and cotton residue in the South. The offset disc design prevents soil compaction while ensuring thorough cultivation. Though minimum till practices have reduced their use, disc harrows remain vital for incorporating amendments, managing cover crops, and preparing fields after extreme weather. Modern versions feature hydraulic adjustments, but the fundamental design perfected by American manufacturers over a century ago remains unchanged. 10. The cultivator. The horse-drawn cultivator, mass-produced by American companies from the 1850s onward, freed farmers from hand-hoeing endless rows of crops. Companies like D.S. Morgan and Company of Brockport, New York, and Gale Manufacturing of Albion, Michigan, developed spring-tooth and shovel designs that could work between crop rows without damage. Horatio Gale's spring teeth, adapted from the old Garver harrow tooth, became industry standard. The riding cultivator, introduced in the 1860s, allowed one person to cultivate acres daily work that previously required a crew. John Deere's Hawkeye riding cultivator was marketed to Civil War veterans as easily operated by one-armed or one-legged men. Planet Junior, manufactured by S.L. Allen and Company of Philadelphia from the 1890s, revolutionized small-scale cultivation with convertible implements that served as cultivator, drill, or plow. By 1908, J.I. Case offered twin-row cultivators requiring up to 5 horses, doubling efficiency. These tools were essential for weed control before herbicides, with their adjustable width accommodating different row spacings. The Pattee Plow Company's new departure cultivator, patented in 1872, weighed less than competitors and allowed farmers to straddle or walk beside rows. The development of tongueless walking cultivators in the early 1900s improved maneuverability and reduced draft requirements. American innovation in cultivator design helped establish the Corn Belt's dominance, as farmers could maintain larger acreages of row crops. Emerson Brantingham's disc cultivators, dating to 1852, prevented plugging when working vining weeds. Today's farmers still use cultivators for mechanical weed control, especially in organic operations. The basic principles of cultivation, disturbing soil to eliminate weeds while preserving crop roots, haven't changed since your great-grandfather's time. 9. The blacksmith anvil. The blacksmith's anvil, that steel-surfaced block essential for shaping hot iron, anchored every farm's repair shop and remains crucial for agricultural self-sufficiency. American manufacturers like Hay Budden, Fisher, Trenton, and Vulcan produced anvils that became legendary for their quality and durability. Fisher anvils, with their tool steel tops bonded during casting, achieved 90% rebound rates and remain prized today. The Hay Budden Manufacturing Company, operating from the late 1800s, created anvils so superior that 150-pound examples still command $700 or more. Vulcan anvils, though considered lower quality with their cast iron bodies, serve budget-conscious farmers reliably. A good anvil's liveness, its ability to bounce the hammer back, determines its efficiency, making American-made anvils prized even today. The Hardy Hole accepted specialized tools like cutters, fullers, and swages, while the Pritchell Hole aided in punching and bending operations. These 100 to 300-pound tools were essential when every farm needed to repair plows, sharpen tools, and fabricate parts. American anvils use different weight marking systems, some showing actual pounds, others using hundredweight calculations. During America's agricultural expansion, the local blacksmith kept farms running, and many farmers learned basic smithing themselves. The ability to heat, shape, and temper metal on site meant broken equipment could be repaired rather than replaced, crucial during harvest when timing was everything. Modern farms still maintain anvils for repair work, custom fabrication, and horseshoeing. Quality vintage American anvils appreciate in value, With pristine examples selling for $3 to $5 per pound, the fact that century-old American anvils command premium prices today speaks to their quality and continued usefulness. In an age of disposable tools, the anvil represents permanence and self-reliance. 8. The post hole digger. The American-designed post hole digger, particularly the dual-handle clamshell design patented in the late 1800s, turned fence building from agony into mere hard work. Companies like Seymour Manufacturing, founded in 1850 and still producing today, perfected these tools for American soil conditions, from rocky New England to heavy Midwest clay. The clamshell-type digger gained widespread use after J. Laurie of Tennessee filed a patent in 1908, though simpler designs existed earlier. Seymour's various patterns, Atlas for homeowners, Hercules for industrial use, and the innovative Gibbs single-blade bucket design addressed different needs and soil types. The scissor action handles and sharp-edged blades could cut through roots and compacted soil that would destroy augers. This tool was essential for America's westward expansion, as settlers needed to fence rapidly to establish property lines and contain livestock, especially after barbed wire's invention in 1868. Building fence for 80 acres required nearly 500 post holes, each 36 inches deep, back-breaking work without proper tools. Alexander Vaughan's 1869 patent for a post auger offered an alternative design featuring a hollow pipe with semicircular blades and air relief holes to prevent vacuum buildup. The standard 6 to 8 inch hole diameter perfectly accommodated wooden fence posts, while the 3-foot handle length provided necessary leverage. American manufacturers produced dozens of regional variations, with handles made from premium American ash or modern fiberglass. Though power augers exist, the manual post hole digger remains superior for precision work near buildings, existing fences, and trees. Every farm still needs one for repair work, small projects, and places machinery can't reach. Seymour alone manufactures 25 different models today, maintaining 100% American production. The unchanged design after 120 years proves that American toolmakers got it right the first time. 7. The scythe. The scythe, used for mowing grass and harvesting grain, became widespread in American agriculture by the 1600s and remains essential for small-scale farming and hard-to-reach areas. American manufacturers refined European designs, creating regional variations suited to different crops and conditions. The North Wayne Tool Company of Oakland, Maine, established in the 1840s, became the scythe capital of New England, producing 144,000 scythes annually by 1867, along with brands like Little Giant, Earl Special, and Prize Winner. Dunn Edge Tool Company, another Maine powerhouse, merged with North Wayne in 1904, consolidating American scythe production. Seymour Manufacturing, still producing aluminum scythes today, represents continuous American innovation since 1850. The long, curved blade attached to a wooden scythe with carefully positioned handles allowed rhythmic cutting motion that could clear acres daily. The Austrian-style scythe, adopted by many American farmers, proved especially efficient when properly maintained with regular peening and sharpening using a dengle stock, portable anvil, and dengle hammer. Maine's unique distinction includes being the only state flag featuring a scythe, recognizing the tool's importance to the state's agricultural heritage. Before mechanization, the scythe was the primary tool for making hay, harvesting small grains, and clearing land. The grain cradle attachment, developed in America, caught cut stalks for easier gathering and aligned grain heads for efficient threshing. A skilled scytheman could cut 2 acres daily work that previously took multiple laborers with sickles. The meditative rhythm of scything, best performed in early morning when dew made grass supple, connected farmers to centuries of tradition. Today's small farmers, homesteaders, and organic growers rediscover the scythe's advantages: silent operation, no fuel costs, and ability to cut in wet conditions when machines would bog down. Scythe Supply in Perry, Maine continues the tradition, importing Austrian blades while sourcing handles from Maine manufacturers. 6. The hay rake. The wooden hay rake evolved from simple hand tools to sophisticated horse-drawn implements by the 1850s, with American manufacturers creating dozens of regional variations. Companies produced both hand rakes for small operations and massive wheel rakes for commercial haying. The revolving hay rake, standard throughout the Midwest by 1870, featured wooden teeth that gathered hay into windrows while the operator controlled the dumping mechanism. These tools were crucial for haymaking properly raked hay dried evenly and could be gathered efficiently. The lightweight wooden construction prevented damage to delicate hay, while the wide head covered ground quickly. Hand hay rakes remain essential on every farm for cleanup work, spreading hay for drying and managing small areas. Their design hasn't changed because physics and ergonomics reached perfection over a century ago. Modern farmers appreciate these tools for their simplicity, reliability, and ability to work where machines can't go. 5. The pitchfork. The pitchfork, with its distinctive long handle and 2 to 5 thin tines, has been the primary tool for handling loose materials since medieval times and remains indispensable on American farms. American manufacturers perfected different tine configurations for specific tasks widely spaced for hay, closer for manure, multiple tines for silage. The genius of the pitchfork lies in its widely spaced tines that penetrate haystacks easily without material getting stuck, unlike tools with closer spaced tines. Grant Wood immortalized this tool in American Gothic, cementing its place in agricultural iconography. During the era of loose hay storage, pitchfork skills determined a worker's value. A good hand could load a wagon in half the time of an amateur. Though round balers dominate today, pitchforks remain essential for feeding, bedding, and cleaning. Every barn still needs several, proving that 500 years of design evolution produced a tool that simply cannot be improved. The pitchfork represents honest work and agricultural heritage. 4. The corn planter. The hand corn planter, perfected by American manufacturers in the mid-1800s, allowed precise seed placement that revolutionized corn production. Companies developed check row systems that planted corn in grid patterns, enabling cross-cultivation for superior weed control. The simple mechanism, a pointed tip penetrating soil, a seed chamber releasing kernels, and a closing mechanism ensured consistent depth and spacing. This tool was crucial for small farms and garden plots where horse-drawn planters couldn't operate. The distinctive kerchunk sound of these planters working became the soundtrack of spring planting across rural America. Many designs featured adjustable seed plates for different seed sizes and variable drop rates. Today's gardeners and small-scale farmers still prefer these planters for their precision, especially when planting sweet corn, beans, and other large seeds. The ability to plant exactly where wanted at the proper depth without bending over makes this 150-year-old tool irreplaceable for many applications. 3. The axe. The American axe, essential for clearing land, splitting wood, and countless farm tasks, evolved into the world's finest edge tool through innovation by manufacturers like Collins, Kelly, and True Temper. The Collins Company of Connecticut, founded in the early 1800s, dominated global markets by the 1840s, producing 150 varieties of machetes and 1,300 types of edge tools, including axes, adzes, and hatchets. Kelly Axe Manufacturing, established in the 1870s, became the world's largest axe producer after purchasing American Axe and Tool Company in 1921, controlling over 260 product lines. American Fork and Hoe acquired Kelly in 1930, creating the True Temper brand that became synonymous with quality. Pennsylvania's Mann family operated axe factories from 1825, perfecting the overlay method of attaching high-carbon steel bits to wrought iron heads. The four-step process of forging, grinding, tempering, and polishing created axes so durable that century-old examples still split wood today. Different patterns emerged for specific tasks, felling axes for timber, broad axes for hewing beams, double bits for professional loggers. Every farm needed multiple axes for clearing fields, building structures, maintaining fences, and providing firewood. Modern homesteaders still prefer vintage American axes for their superior steel and balance, with collectible brands like Black Raven and Wood Slasher commanding premium prices. 2. The walking plow. Before John Deere's revolution, wooden and cast iron plows struggled with American soils, but the walking plow's evolution changed everything. American manufacturers developed regional variations, prairie breakers for the Midwest, hillside plows for New England, middle busters for the South. The walking plow required skill, strength, and understanding of soil conditions. A good plowman could turn an acre daily, transforming wilderness into productive farmland. These plows built America, literally turning the soil that would feed a growing nation. The moldboard's elegant curve, perfected through decades of refinement, lifted and inverted soil with mathematical precision. Though tractors replaced horses, many small farms still use walking plows for gardens, small fields, and teaching agricultural heritage. The intimate connection between farmer, tool, and soil that the walking plow provides cannot be replicated by GPS-guided machinery. This tool represents the transformation of American agriculture from subsistence to feeding the world. 1. The steel moldboard plow. John Deere's 1837 invention of the self-scouring steel plow in Grand Detour, Illinois, literally broke the plains and transformed American agriculture forever. Deere's innovation came from polishing steel to prevent prairie soil from sticking, using a broken sawmill blade to create the first prototype. The carefully designed curve of the moldboard determined how well soil would turn over, with Deere perfecting this shape through countless iterations. Production exploded from one plow in 1837 to 10,000 annually by 1857 as settlers rushed to farm the Midwest's fertile soils. This tool enabled America's westward expansion, making previously unfarmable land productive. John Deere stopped production of their traditional 3,710 moldboard plow in 2023, ending 186 years of continuous manufacture, though they still produced the 995 reversible model. The steel plow's impact extends beyond agriculture. It shaped American prosperity, enabled food security, and established the Midwest as the world's breadbasket. No other tool better represents American agricultural innovation and the power of solving practical problems with ingenious solutions. These 15 tools built American agriculture and continue serving farmers who understand that reliability trumps complexity. From the steel plow that opened the frontier to the simple pitchfork still moving hay, these implements connect us to generations of agricultural wisdom. They remind us that our ancestors weren't just farmers, they were engineers, problem solvers, and craftsmen who built a nation one furrow at a time. If you found value in this journey through agricultural history, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Help us preserve these stories of American ingenuity by sharing this video with someone who appreciates the tools that fed America. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best tool is the one that still works after a century of service.